2020, Exam 2, Question 3, Data Analysis. All right, first question is what percentage of these 250 men are having a below average neck size? So if you look at neck size, you've got these three categories here. There's 50 of them below average out of a total of 250. You don't have to count them or add them up. That's 50 over 250, which is actually 1/5, which is 20%. And a lot of people were fine with doing that part. Let's look at the next question. And they're saying in this one, what is the interquartile range for the men with average neck size? So this is the average row here. There we go. And we want the IQR. So that's the difference between this number and this number. So remember, IQR equals Q3 minus Q1. And that's going to be 26.0 minus 23.4, which equals 2.6. Again, most people had no trouble with that. All right, some more fat shaming. So if you have a BMI of 30 or more, you're classified as obese. And so we want to know how many of the 250 men are obese. Now, if we look at the BMI of 30, it's this line here, which means anyone above that line is classified as obese. So nothing in the below average group. Here, there are 4, and then here, now this is where people fell apart. Some people went, oh, there's 4 dots with the average, so there's 2 dots for that. And then you know that this whisker is 25% or 1/4 of the total, and that total is 76, which is also emphasized here as well. So they went 76 plus 4, and that's where they went wrong, because the outliers are included in the whisker. So you're kind of double dipping on the 2. So that whole group is 1/4, including the outliers. So the quarter is the 2 dots plus the whisker. So don't double dip on that. And if you do 76 divided by 4, because that's one of these sections, remember each of those sections on a box and whisker plot or box plot is a quarter. So that's 4 plus 19, which is 23. So most people went wrong there because they double dipped on counting the 2. Now the next one is a lovely wording thing. It's 2 marks. So it says, do the box plots support the contention that BMI is associated with neck size? So you're basically going to get 1 mark for saying yes, and then you have to say, you know, increase slash change. There's some keywords in there. And then the next one is refer to values. When it says refer to values, there's basically 2 that you can refer to. That's either median or IQR. And so, look, if you think about this, they've given you the medians. You could work out the IQRs, but why? So you don't need to work out the IQRs. You can just quote values of medians. So you need to have those 2 things to get the 2 marks. And so rather than me scribble it in my horrible handwriting on a slippery screen, here's the answer from the thing. So can you see what they've done here is they said yes, and there's an increase. You were allowed to say a change in the median. So they just went for the median. Again, median can be replaced with IQR. All right, so fancy, nice phrase there. And they said as neck size increases. Beautiful. So they've talked about the increase in change. 1 mark. For below neck, and then they just quoted the value. So for below average neck sizes, the median BMI is 21.6, and then 24.6, then 28.1 for each of those groups. So that's what you had to do for that. So when you're looking for quoting a value, it's median or IQR. Don't do range, don't do standard deviation, or don't say mean or anything like that. Those are all silly mistakes that you can make there. So if there's 2 things they're asking for, one is going to be a yes or a no, and then you talk about the increase in change, or no change if it's no, and then median is probably the most obvious one because they gave you the median values and then you don't have to do any calculations. But you would have been fine if you'd used IQR as well.